if the value of Yieldly is going through the floor, then all the Yieldly that someone just farmed over the past 6 months is also going through the floor. So that's fundamentally a problem for their business model.
And also, I think there was this divorce when they announced the second token, right?
What do you mean divorce?
Like with the community, because I don't even know if they went on with their second token. They were talking about the governance token to be added to Yieldly.
They're still working on both, supposedly, because they hired a whole new dev team for the Yes Sports, from what Seb told JT in the interview. So apparently, because there's just different funding, like they got funding from Polygon to do that. So, I mean, if they build the bridges to Polygon, which would be huge in my opinion, that would be really nice, because we definitely need bridges to get liquidity over from these other networks. Like, I was talking to Kyle about this the other day, and one thing he commented on is like, like all I can really use to bring Algo liquidity, if I wanted to bring like hard assets like stable coins or something like that, is the Qcoin and MEXZ. And like the most he can do is like 20K a day. So, if Yieldly goes off and builds some bridges, or we just, get more bridges here to bring more liquidity from different networks, it'll definitely have a network effect for us in a positive way.
Well, we have so many projects today. We have ASA Portfolio, Guard, XBacked. Please jump in to tell us more about what you do. How are you doing, ASA Portfolio?
Yeah, let's get some more speakers up here. But yeah, ASA Portfolio, how you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, it's the first time I speak in one of these Twitter spaces. So I just was tweaking the microphone and giving permission to the app, etc. I wasn't sure if everything was working. So yeah, thanks for having us. We've made many AMA, sorry. I'm from Barcelona. My name is Joan. You might have seen me. Yeah, nice to meet you too, Bilal.
Barcelona is a really nice place, right?
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't change it for Paris, to be honest.
Yeah,
I had a cousin was living there for many, many years, and well, he was really happy, but the weather, he was always complaining that it was always raining or gray or anything. So, well, yeah. So, as I was saying, well, my English is not so good. It's really rusty, and it's much easier to write English than to speak. It's like different skills. But
mine is not good either. Don't worry. People are pretty indulgent here.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And what can I say? I've been doing AMAs in different places, and I've been asked to do one here. So I don't know if you want me to explain our project and what we're doing, or maybe someone wants to go directly and ask some questions.
I think a quick summary is probably in order.
Yeah, okay. So, well, we're doing a portfolio app for the phone, okay? And right now, the beta is ready, actually, it's almost finished. We're going to show a sneak peek of the product on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Wednesday night, I imagine we'll simply record a video. It will be really short because it's just opening the portfolio and showing that you can enter your account and see the assets that you have, but on your phone, like in a really easy way, accessible and really fast to see what you have. There are other applications, especially websites that do this. But when we started the project, it was in December, and then there was there wasn't anything really to see what you have. We were using AsaStats, which is an excellent website that you all know. But AsaStats doesn't show you the variations, the latest variations of the assets. So if you're investing in ASAS and maybe you haven't visited in a day, and then you log in and you see the prices, and maybe you see that you have like 100 algos more than you had yesterday. But then you look into the list and it's really hard to know, what's going up, what's going down. So it's well, we're all a group of friends that we know each other for like 20 years. So it's like the same group for many, many years. And on Christmas, we were talking about Algorand and crypto. We were all very into crypto since 2017, more or less. And yeah, we were all buying and selling and looking into the Algorand ecosystem, the projects that were coming out, etc., buying things, selling, speculating. And we realized that it lacked this tool. So Beatriz, she does well. She's a developer. She builds apps for a living, and she's been saying that she's really willing to do her own project because she's working at a big company that pays her for her apps. But she wanted to do her own project, so we were talking about making this portfolio app where you could see the variations of what you buy, like really easily, even in an addictive kind of way, because everything is so volatile that you want to connect and maybe 20 times a day and see if the things are going up or going down. It gets really addictive. You go to the toilet and you open the portfolio like this. So yeah, we felt it was doable. So we were having meetings, like really informal in Christmas, and talking about other projects, what they were doing, and the tokenomics of everything. And we had debates if we needed a token or not, and we decided that we could do a token to make the app like participative and have governance and let the people vote for the features they wanted and let them decide. And also using it as it was the stock of a company. So if we had profits, then we could share with the people that had the token. It only made sense this way to have a token. So yeah, we designed the project. We didn't really have any help from other races or from the foundation or anyone to design everything. So I understand that for the veterans here, some things might look a bit weird or amateurish, like in crypto, but everyone is a professional here in the team in their own specialty. I'm a lawyer. We have a marketing leader in a big company in Denmark, etc. So I guess it's a mixture of like traditional company, mainstream company ideas and crypto concepts. But yeah, I think the project is, I mean, it's my baby, and of course I will speak about it in a very nice way. But I think we've made it a really nice and participative project, and the app is also really useful already, just as it is, with almost no design, just the basic structure. But it's a working portfolio that you can check many times really quickly, and you see the variations with it's something that I think it's critical. And we've done it in a way that I think it's exactly what we needed. A portfolio that you can see the variations. You will see exactly how it's different from the other portfolios, because I don't want to disclose it before Wednesday, that you will get to see the sneak peek and some screenshots of video. We'll see what we'll do. But yeah, we've done something a bit different with the price variations, and I hope that everyone will really like it.
That's cool. Is it a little bit, because when I heard about your project, I thought it was something close to GFly. Is it a bit different from it? What is the difference basically from this?
No, I get this question asked a lot. Of course, the first thing I have to say is that when we designed all of this, we didn't know about the fly. We didn't know about the project, or the beta. When nothing was released, nothing was disclosed, anything. We hadn't seen anything. And we wrote all the documents and we uploaded the first website without any help from designers. So it was really just a template that we picked, and it was really ugly. But we didn't know about the fly, and we learned about them after we had announced the project, etc. But we quickly realized that it was something really different and targeted at a really different user. Because the fly, it has a portfolio also. So it's true that you can use the fly just to check the portfolio. the variations in the way they show it is really different, because right now, since I have seen the variation you see in the portfolio, you get a percentage of the variation you have had since the first time you bought, right? So you know, like your total earnings in that token. And
Yeah.
the way we do it is a little different. It's like the most recent variation since, you know, the not since the beginnings, but for the last. Well, you will see. I don't want to say exactly what it's going to be, because it's kind of a surprise. the way it shows the variation, but yeah, it's more. Well, it's different, and also the way it's done with, it's for like a deep analysis of the tokens and their evolution. It's for someone who really wants to study what to buy. And yeah, I mean, it's a great app. I've been checking it, and of course I will never speak badly of something that is really well executed. But the way we thought about our app is something that you will want to check many times a day. You know, it's not check it maybe when you have free time and spend time like looking at graphics and studying token, etc. But something that you want to be checking all the time to see the variations in the last hours. For example, when there's a launch like Aniran that we had 2 days ago, or was it just yesterday? That the price keeps swinging and going up, etc. And it's something that you will be able to track with your app really easily. And also we want to set up the alarms, like push notifications that tell you like rings and give you warnings that the alarm you set up, maybe there was a plus 10% change, something like this. We have targeted the product to different kind of users. Like we were thinking that Algorand was going to grow really fast and really exponentially, and every day you have like newbies, you know, that really don't know anything about crypto, about Algorand, the ecosystem, and how things work. And we were thinking that all these people would need something really plain, a really soft learning curve, an app that they can use very easily, very clearly, with just the most essential data. And I think so. Yeah, I think we found a niche, you know, in the demand in the market for apps that hasn't been filled yet.
Awesome. Oh, by the way, your English is amazing. Ibu, you have a
No, it's
question?
not. It's not. No, because I have to concentrate, you know, in the concepts of the product, the project, and
No,
also
it's fine.
translate it into English. And you know, I mean, if you're French speaker, you know, you would be able to speak,
Yeah.
explain everything much easier if you could do it in French. So yeah, for me it's the
Yeah,
same. I
it's
wish I
different.
could explain all of this in Catalan.
Yeah, I
Because
know. I
I
know. It's
explained
frustrating for
it so
me.
many times to my friends and to the people in the team, etc. And yeah, I mean, I've loved to explain the project because it's something so new, and it's a technology so cool, and so many possibilities. And actually, what we're doing is pretty simple. I mean, the app we're doing is not high tech. I mean, the CTO or the devs would kill me for saying this because I'm not technical. And I know that any dev, when you say, no, it's pretty easy, that should be easy, you get those killer looks like, yeah, okay, do it yourself, you know? But yeah, I mean, we're not trying to
Yeah.
build a bridge from Algorand to Ethereum or something super blockchainy, you know? But
Yeah.
when I explain the project to my friends or to people who talk to me in Telegram, etc., it's like contagious, you know? Everyone wants to participate, and we have a new team member now. He's Mark Fresquet. I didn't know him. He's the only one who's not like a lifetime friend. And he contacted me. He said, "Hey, I'm from Barcelona too, and I like Algorand. I'm a developer, data miner, etc. I'm experimenting with Algorand and blockchain. So maybe we could do something together." And yeah, we signed an NDA, etc. And he's been building scripts for token management. He already had one published by Algorand. That's the one that we're going to use to distribute the pre-sale token, which is well, we needed like a specific script because we did pre-sale in a different way. And he's really good, and he's participating without charging us anything, without asking for anything. He's happy to wait until we can like airdrop some token to him in the future, or maybe when we have revenue from the app, maybe then we can pay him. But you know, Algorand or blockchain in general, well, I don't know about the other chains, but Algorand has something that everyone is so enthusiastic and willing to participate in projects and give to other people, you know, and that's amazing. And we're already taking advantage of this, so to say. Yeah.
Awesome. I think Ibu has a question for you. Ibu, please.
Yeah, thanks, Bilal. Thanks for that explanation. What was your name once more? Did you say your name?
Juan.
Juan.
Yeah, you write it
so
like Joan, you know, like a woman's name.
No, but it's a man's name. It's your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
but I have a question for you.
Shoot,
So
go ahead.
I have a few questions.
Go ahead.
The first one is, will you be able to trade in the app, or is the app meant for tracking the portfolio but not trading the portfolio?
Not initially. So the way that we've designed our project is that initially it will be just a portfolio. And we're launching a portfolio, and it's with the characteristics that I was saying. It's like a very simple, very plain portfolio, something like as stats that you simply get your list and you know how much it is, and that's all. You just want to connect to see how your values, you know, how your investments are doing, and you connect, you check 5 seconds, you see, and that's all. You get the variations, that's right. But the core like product that we launch is this, and then. We want to make, well, we already did it like this. I mean, we have designed the project to be participative in the way that the people who want to participate, not just use the app, but you know, buy the token, they will get to vote in governance decisions that they will steer the road for the project. So if we get asked a lot to give, for example, NFTs, NFT, what's the word, tracking, and well, we can make a governance vote and explain our opinions or our capabilities as a team, and you know, like give an estimation of how long it will take and what we think this will be good for the project or not, or how it would change things, like educate people on the way we think this will affect our project. And then we can have a vote. And if the majority in a governance vote decides that they want the NFTs to be tracked, that's what we will work in.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, lovely. If you were, this is a theoretical question. If you were to integrate like trading in app eventually, one big thing about trading apps is how they organize the equities or assets on the homepage. Like, for example, Robinhood got a lot of criticism because they always put like the top movers on the homepage, and usually the top movers are the stocks that have already peaked out, you know, and a lot of people end up like a lot of people who don't really know, they just see, Tesla is moving a lot today, I'm going to buy it, and then they make a bad trade.
Yeah,
so if you were to organize the homepage of a trading app, what would you put? How would you list the assets?
Wow.
Would it be by liquidity? Would it be by time on the market? Would it be by market cap or fully?
Look, this is an excellent question, but it's also so deep. I mean, right now we're super focused on building the portfolio, and you're asking that if we add this, exchange capabilities, how are we going to sort the assets? I don't know. We're not there yet. Okay, so yeah, I mean, yeah. What I can say is, if we get asked to implement also this exchange swapping capabilities, etc., then we will do it. The CTO already told me that it's fairly easy to implement the Tinyman swapping capabilities because, well, I'm not technical, so I might say some weird stuff now, but I express the way that I understand that Tinyman already gives you like the correct scripts that you just have to like copy paste in your code somehow. So they already done the work. I don't know, the word is SDK, something like this, but they already provide everything that the developers need to integrate swapping on the app. Okay, so it's not really something so difficult for professionals developers to do. The thing is that also this comes with many implications, because if you directly want to do the swap, then the app needs the seeds from the user, and this is really tricky because the security, the audits, you're vulnerable, or you're exposed to being hacked, and you're exposed to all the security risks and the exploits, etc. So I can tell you, if our users asked for the swapping implementation in our app, I would vote not to do it because the risks are incredibly high, and it's pretty easy. Once you have decided to buy or sell an asset, we can simply have a button, that link, like buy or sell, that brings you to the proper DEX, and you can do the swap there with all the security audits, etc. So yeah, I mean, I know the fly, for example, you have to give them your seeds, and then you can do the swap in the app, etc. And it's great, and I admire them for doing this. But yeah, it's not something that you can do so easily. I mean, you have to take into account all the risks that you're assuming, and the main thing why I wouldn't do it is, well, if you're going to do this, how are you going to pay for all these responsibilities, all the audits that you were going to have to do? I don't want to make our users pay us a fee over Tiny Man's fee, so we can have the money, the resources to pay all these audits and to make sure that we're not hacked. It's much easier for us to just provide the link, so the user goes directly to the DEX. We don't have to charge them anything. And maybe if we just give a link and you can go follow this link to Tinyman, maybe Tinyman will pay us to have this link and not AlgoFi or PactFi link, This is my ideas. I mean, once the moment comes to decide on all this, we'll have to study, etc. We're not at this point yet. So yeah. Anything else?
Wonderful. Thank you for that. So you said you're posting some teasers this week, screenshots.
Yeah.
How did you decide on the branding for the app? I see like your profile picture, you got some fish, kind of threaded fish looking pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I know Barcelona is a coastal city.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that what? Do you like fish and you just wanted to do fish?
Yeah, I mean, so you're asking, yeah, well, I mean, I love your connections in your head. It's like, okay, he's from Barcelona, maybe he likes fish, so that's why the fish are there. Look, really, the fish, well, I made myself like a draft of the logo that I wanted, that I liked, to show the other guys. And I just opened Paint. Paint 3D. I picked the DA from Algorand, and I opened the like pre-drawn figures that you get in Paint 3D, and there was like a cat, a fish, and a dog. So I saw the fish, and well, maybe, yeah, I mean, I'm not really from Barcelona itself, but from a city that's next to it, and the flag of this city, it's a fish. Okay, so because this used to be a lake. Well, it's a long story. The thing is that I picked the fish, and I thought about the fish, the traders, and the asses and the whales and everything, and just put some fish of different sizes there. And I showed the others, and they said it's really cool. I mean, but it was something like done in like 5 seconds.
I say you just embrace it. Yulie's got the freaking flamingos. I say you just like just like here's the whales. Are you a guppy? Your whole site should just be like an aquarium.
Yeah, that's it.
We're just watching the fish. Another big fish comes.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. So then I the designer picked it up and said, okay, that's really nice, but not like this. I mean, this Paint 3D, this is horrible. Exactly, it doesn't work because for icons you need vectors, etc. And I said, look, do what you want. It's in your hands. And yeah, all the branding and all the icon, the colors and everything, it's just the designer, Jonathan. If you're listening, thank you for all your great work. Also, he's been working this week so hard and with COVID, so there's no way to pay him for all that he's doing for us. Really, I mean, without a good designer and working like he's doing, like completely free and unguided, there would be no app, no project, no nothing. Of course, yeah.
Listen, I have a question. I just jumped in and heard what you were saying, and I am a fan because you are in Barcelona. We have a house in Sitges, which is only
Cool.
25 kilometers away from
Yeah,
Barcelona.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. You have
Year
a question
from
for
now.
me? Excuse
What
me?
is the plan 1 year from now?
Oh yeah. Well, we've planned for a year and a half. Okay, more or less. So the finished product, what we really want to achieve in the roadmap is to have an app that has a lot of traffic, so that many users use every day. And well, the trick to achieve this that we think will work is what I was explaining before.
But
First, it has to be a phone app, because if you want the users to connect like 5-10 times a day, it has to be handy and give you like the latest variations, like, okay, 5%, 2%, I have 20 algos more, where do they come from, etc. Oh, it's this asset that is going up, or it's this asset that's going down, or there's been something weird, you know. So the core of the app that we want is this portfolio that is really fast, that gives you the variation, and that sends you the alarms, okay, that you can set up the alarm that you want and check them out, okay. And then if we succeed, I mean, the Algorand ecosystem also has to grow, has to succeed, and Algorand has to succeed, because, yeah, I mean, we're the fish in the fish tank, that's Algorand, and if it breaks, then everything is dead, okay? But if it keeps growing as it has been growing, like 30%, I'm not talking price, but users and accounts, 30% more accounts in just the first quarter in 2022. So for now, it seems that we called it. We guessed right that the Algorand ecosystem is going to grow like exponentially. Then we can have these thousands and thousands of users that are connecting to the app to check their portfolio like 5, 10, 20 times a day. And what we want is then, once we get all this traffic, well, we will place some very discrete advertising, and we will place maybe some links like to buy or sell the assets, and for an exchange, to have our links send the users to their website, to their platform. That would have to pay us an exclusive, sponsorship, etc. So what we want is to make algos from all this advertising, and then share it with the investors that bought our token in the beginning and helped us build the app with their decisions and with their algos.
okay, so basically it's a Web 2 business model.
Yes, it's a business model. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not to solve something technical or to write a bridge.
What I'm saying is this is a Web 2 business model. So
Web 2. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. With the participation of the user, actually the slogan or the idea is that our app is the app owned by the users. So yeah, the DeFi 2.0 gives you that idea that if you buy the token, it's not just looking at it grow and go up and go down and trying to time the perfect moment to sell it. No, what we want is that if you have our token, then you're part of the team, and we're going to ask you to vote and to make decisions and to help us decide, on colors, icons, implementations, even deals. or if we want to hire someone, we can ask like our users and say, who do you think that it's better qualified, etc. So yeah, I mean, that's the idea. You have our token, you're in the team. That's right. Also for the revenue. I mean, because you're helping us, you're working for us, and then you will get the same rewards that anyone that has the token.
Okay.
Juan, I think we have a question from your friend Oyster. How are you doing?
Okay,
Oyster?
finally. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for coming on today. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, same with you. I mean, I'm happy to finally talk and answer any question you have, any concern. First of all, I want to say the same I said in the comments, that it's good to have the people like you who worries when they see something weird, fishy, okay, no pun intended, and like gives a warning to the community, okay? So yeah, here we are.
Right.
Just
I mean, I'm probably one of the most critical people on Twitter. So
yeah,
don't
a
take don't take
bit
don't take it
brutal,
personal.
maybe.
Don't,
So no
don't
problem.
I mean, don't take it personal. Think of it as I'm just like a financial analyst.
Yeah,
But
okay.
my question is regarding the revenue and like the token is supposed to, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. We're just reading on the website. So the token is supposed to represent also the equivalent of a share, like a stock share. I mean,
Yeah,
conceptually.
that's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea.
And then
The difference is that if you have a stock share from Coca-Cola, for example, well, I mean, you can go to their annual stockholder meetings and maybe they will let you vote on something, maybe not. Most probably you will never participate, in anything.
well,
So
theoretically, you have, yeah. I mean, your vote doesn't mean much in a
yeah,
Bitcoin,
that's right.
but
Yeah. So the idea that we have is, as I said earlier, I mean, is that if you hold our token, then you have to participate.
okay,
Okay, you
yeah,
have.
yeah.
It's not only. We're not just. Look, the idea is the passive income. There's all these legal implications. Having a passive income that derives from a token, and maybe then the token is considered a security token, and
Well,
when all.
that's kind of where I'm going with this. With this is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because the way it's you talk about basically distributing profits from the business as dividends on a quarterly basis,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? And so that by definition will turn, that is a security token. I mean, there's
But
no question.
Oyster, aren't most companies functioning in this way anyway? Like most DeFi companies and Web 2 and Web 3, like a lot of them don't have much difference in the. I got muted by the host.
Sorry, my bad.
It's okay. The difference is that in Web3, you can program the token, which is basically just a ownership share, to vote on protocol aspects, which is basically what Juan is describing to us. But in other functionalities, it still will pay you. What's the difference between a dividend and an airdrop? What's the difference between like yield farming and liquidity provision? Like, it's basically like not that different. So the criticism that you're coming at may be a little.
If you
If you're going to
if you read
criticize
the
him
white
for
paper,
that, then you got to
no,
criticize
no,
every
no.
project.
Hold on a second. If you read what it says, is that a quarterly dividend will be distributed based on the revenue stream of the project. All right, that is a classic
But
a classic
the
business,
difference,
right? The
no, the
classic
difference
business.
is if it's trustless or not, the Oyster. Like, are they personally sending out the funds, or is it like done by smart contracts and zero human intervention whatsoever? There's a big difference when we're talking about there. Now, if they were personally doing it, either through a centralized database or by hand,
Right,
then
but let me just get my questions out, right? Because this is where I want to know is how the for example, if I own stock in the company, there's financial reports. I can see where the revenues are being spent and how much profit is actually made. Right. That's even though, of course, the books can be cooked. But how is revenue? How is the just transparency going to work? Besides just me trusting, unless all revenue will be coming onto the blockchain, and all expenses will be expensed through the blockchain for the business, right? If there's any off-chain, bookkeeping that's done, it's a different story, right?
No,
That's
that's
a fair point. It's a fair point.
I agree to Oyster's point. This will be considered a security.
Yeah, there's no, unless everything's done on chain, the bookkeeping, then it's a security. Period.
Yeah, but listen. I mean,
But I'm not saying I just want to raise that. I'm not saying this as a negative thing or as a positive thing. I'm just asking questions so that people understand what they're getting into. When buying the token, what's the expectation? Because the expectation is, for example, if I was to buy the token, my expectation is I'm going to participate in getting a dividend every quarter. Okay. If I'm going to get a dividend, I want to see the financial reports for the company. Right? I mean, otherwise, how do I know am I getting my share of the dividends as a shareholder? Right?
if you are considered a shareholder, if you're considered a shareholder, then then there needs to be compliance.
Yes.
That is a requirement. Doesn't really matter where you register your company, especially if you are U.S. residents. But I think the wording, I haven't read it though, but I think the wording should be changed if you consider it at a security as it is right now.
Yeah. I mean, Duan is if I pronounce your name, I mean, you're a lawyer, so.
Can I ask you? Can I ask where is the company registered? Or is there a company? Is it a legal entity, or is it just a framework of a couple of friends who are working on something? The Barcelona guy.
He's on mute. You're on mute, Duan.
Maybe it's time we change subjects because I think he may have left.
Yeah,
He's just on mute.
I know he's there, but he's not responding.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah, we can move on. There's no.
Can you hear
me?
me?
We can't hear you, Bilal.
Bilal, you're
hello.
Getting rough.
You're breaking.
Barely hear you.
Wow. Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're back. We can hear you again.
Oh no, you're saying. So my mic was disconnected all this time. I was getting desperate because I was trying to answer all these questions.
Oh, you were on mute.
And they were like asking new questions and new questions, starting a debate. Okay, so all of these, we have studied all of these very much. Okay, and I'm a lawyer. I've studied the Spanish law, the European regulation, the United States regulation. I've bought like specialized books on this matter. I've contacted the writers of these books. I contacted lawyers, like veteran Spanish lawyers from blockchain. I mean, there's not much more research that I can do on all of this. Okay.
That is fair enough. Just answer the question. Where is the company? What is the company formation? Where is it registered?
Look, the company will be registered in Spain. We're now Yeah, in Spain, in
Okay.
Barcelona.
So in Barcelona?
Yes, but it's not that easy as saying, where's the company registered? Is it fulfilling its legal obligations with the security token or not? Who's going to regulate? Who's going to? We're under the Spanish jurisdiction. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I own companies in Spain, and I would never do anything in terms of token from Spain at all. Not even Andorra.
why not?
Well, because the regulators are not. Well, you're a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have a chat then.
Cool.
Because the regulations in Spain is very dodgy, and in Europe, I mean, each country in Europe are discussing crypto. Is it a security or what is it?
Yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah.
I would never register anything. No disrespect. I would never
No, that's
register
fine.
anything in Spain. We have a house in Spain, so
Yeah.
we've lived here for quite some time.
Yeah.
That would be. I would never invest in that. What I would propose to you, especially if it is a DAO, to reconsider where to do the company formation. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because you will be liable towards investors like Oyster, and the hand he's raising is correct.
Yeah, I've never said it isn't.
No. Again, it's no disrespect. This is an open chat where we can
Yeah.
discuss whatever we want to.
But
Right?
I completely agree and I completely understand with Oyster and his concerns.
Yeah.
So first thing, is it a security token or not? Because because Oyster is simplifying some things. He's saying, if you hold our token, you will share the revenue or the profits from the company. Okay, yeah, that's right. But you have to actively participate in the decisions, in the marketing, in the design. You have to actively participate. It's not passive income. It's not I buy this token and I just rest and the token comes. If the token holders, some of them don't participate in governance, they don't do anything, they just wait for their income, well, then they will not access this income. They need to actively participate.
Okay, so you are a lawyer and you know how legal shit works, right? You can't. Well, I mean, especially in Europe, you need to prove. Oyster would have to prove that what you are saying is correct.
Well, he will be able to prove it. I mean, the way the project is done, and we have the governance decisions and the DAO and everything, decentralized, participative, etc. It's not passive income, so it's not so easy to say it's a security token because it's giving me income. No, I mean, maybe you will have to stake this token to get the rewards. And maybe these rewards will come in proportion to the revenue that the app has made, okay? So the easiest way to do it is to speak to Yielding or AlgoStake and say, look, this quarter we made, I don't know, 300 euros of, I don't know, 10,000 algos, let's say 10,000 algos. And we want to reward our token holders with this. So let's start a pool. They have to stake the APF, which is our token. And by staking it, they will get these rewards. It's a reward. It's an active participation. Okay. Then it's not a security
chime in
token.
and say, Yield, even though most of the team is in Australia, they incorporated into BAVI. So they're a bridge for Ireland.
Well, in Spain, to register your company, when you create a security token or you make an IDO, etc. Well, right now it's mostly unregulated. I could say completely unregulated. And what's for sure is that if the amounts that that you're asking for funds or let's say if your market cap, let's say like this, is under 5 million euros, then you have no obligation at all with like the Spanish SEC, okay, which has another name, a Spanish name. But
for now. But going as we advance,
for now, okay.
3 years from now, that can be changed. And
cool. And
having a lot of knowledge about Spain, that can be damaging. I mean, so you have the David Beckham taxation as an example. That is pretty awesome. Quick. David Beckham was hired to play football in Spain, and suddenly he had an issue with taxation. So the Spanish government decided to do a David Beckham taxation, which a lot of famous sports stars starting to use. And then they changed it overnight. Like, now we don't want that anymore. So you see,
Yeah.
you are responsible for people who are backing you in whatever project you're doing. You need, and you just said that you were a lawyer, so now you're liable. Agree?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Okay, so if you are a
so
lawyer, if you are a lawyer, you are in Spain, it's a company registered in Spain, then you will be liable.
and
Basically,
I will be compliant with
Yeah,
yeah.
any
but
regulation. And
here's
if
a
the
simple
regulation changes, then I will
but
change
here's a
whatever
simple
needs.
problem, right? Here's a simple problem. If you say you are going to distribute dividends, quarterly dividend based on revenue, I want your books audited. I want your accounting records audited. Okay, I want to see audited financial records. You understand? You as a lawyer should understand this.
But what surprises me is that you are saying this as if it wasn't part of the plan. I mean, what makes you think that we're not going to have everything audited? I mean, once as a portfolio starts
Okay,
getting revenue,
that's okay.
we are keeping
That's
books
great, but
already,
then
and we are paying
right, but
from
then it's a
our
security
pockets.
token, right? It's a security token. You're saying it's not a security token, all right? And if everything, if the whole business, if all the business accounting system was on the blockchain, it can be audited on the blockchain. Soon as you have the books off chain, it's a whole different, rules apply.
There has to
Whole
be
different
quarterly
rules.
audits. Yeah, I agree.
Well,
But
that's
there is
really
one
interesting
thing.
because you're implying that the books could be on the blockchain. How
Yeah, of
could?
course. If it's an on-chain service, but it's not. It's an off-chain service that uses blockchain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
if it was all on chain, for example, then you could have smart contracts. It's completely transparent, right? Then you could have smart contracts distribute. You pay. Basically, you have it's a ledger, right? It's a ledger. But I don't know. This is what I'm asking. That's a big concern that I would have, and a lot of people that they're buying the token maybe don't understand when you put on the website that quarterly dividends sounds great for a person who doesn't, for a person, for the average person that sees that, the phrase being, whatever, the degen, they see that, they're like, whoa, sounds awesome. They don't understand what they're getting into, what that means. And that's my concern. But that's it. I've made my point.
Yeah, let's go ahead and choose the subject now.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for all the warnings. And all I can say is that I will always keep on studying, the laws and the regulation and try to be compliant. And I don't get why this way of putting things is like more risky for an investor than someone that doesn't explain anything or maybe a token that.
Because you can be shut down overnight. That's why. As an investor, if you don't follow, if you're a security token and you're not in compliance, you get shut down overnight. That's why.
Yeah, but
Well, do you know
the
of any case that this has happened in Spain?
Happens all the time. Happens all the time, my friend.
In Spain.
Let's let's change the subject and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we?
it's just
Hello, Bilal.
communication now.
Listen, it's a
Uh,
valid point. It's valid points. You guys should have this conversation solo so you can really get down into it.
Yeah,
But I want to
you
bring in.
can. Yeah, I agree. You can ping me if you want to, and I can continue the discussion with you if you
Sure.
need my help.
send me a PM on Twitter and let's discuss all of this. I mean, all your concerns can only improve on the project, and that's great to yeah, it will be great to speak to you.
All right.
So
Cool.
I know we
Thanks.
have
Yeah.
So I know we have Dean and Guard here, but I first want to bring in Shrina. Shrina Karani running for Congress, creating Algorand NFTs.
I just worry, and I wish that the structure like wasn't such a big issue. I wish that the guidelines and the legality of it wasn't such a hassle and so gray.
Yeah, and we're really not going to have any opinions on it for probably another few months, maybe. Going through this year, we might start to hear more government stances on crypto, and I think the U.S. government made a statement, I think a week or two ago, which was generally accepting of crypto. They said they wanted to incentivize innovation and they weren't going to stifle things. But the question is, when will that come into play? As we're getting everyone back in here, oh great, the audience is filtering in. Hopefully we can Shrina back, but if not, would love to talk to Dean about Verdex and what you've been doing lately.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dean. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. I know I'm relatively new to the Algorand space, so definitely appreciate it, especially from Oyster Pack, Michael Jordan, and a couple others. So appreciate it a lot. we've been grinding around the clock. It's really every time we do it, I always forget how hard it is to do it each time. Our team is kind of just working around the clock to try and deliver the best product we can at the speed that we can pushes the boundary of delivery and also security. So we're just testing like crazy right now for our native AMM. So expect that to come on to testnet for you guys to play around with in the next 2 weeks. Our launchpad is almost completely ready to go. We have our 2 audits pretty much done. Thank you guys for making it one of the most successful DeFi testnets ever to launch. So that was really exciting. It's incredibly humbling to be in the space and just meet so many loyal followers of this technology and a lot of people who aren't even compensated to kind of discuss it and talk about it. And it's just really cool. It's really, really cool. I think coming from the EVM world, you see so many paid shillers and all these people, but I think Algorand there's a genuineness to this community that I can't say I've seen in many places. And I'm just really grateful for the community for embracing with open arms. And it's incredibly humbling, it's incredible responsibility and honor also. We're about to close out the seed round. We have some of the biggest names in the Algorand ecosystem backing us or committed to back us. And so I think I've always approached it like take it one step at a time, right? Like Jeff Bezos says like step by step, but step ferociously. And that's what we try and do every single day. Tackle what's right in front of us, take the skills and experience that we've had and apply it into this new arena and hopefully bring the users and community very, very valuable things that we can hopefully provide to the best of our ability and be open to feedback, be open to communication to all members of our community and do right by them, do right by our investors. And at the end of the day, just put forth a product that we can be proud of. And I think that's what we strive to do every day. It's what keeps me up at night and what inspires me to jump out of bed in the morning. And I'm just incredibly honored to be here. So thank you guys so much for the love and support and really, really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man, glad to have you here. I really wonder what made you want to come into Algorand versus all the other potential layer ones that you could have chosen. There's so many other options that, technically would be an easier path. All those EVM chains, Phantom, AVAX, something like Luna or Solana, not EVM, but, more popular. What made you kind of want to take the leap into Algorand where there's huge potential, but a lot still needs to be built?
Yeah, totally. I think it's a function of several things. And if you guys, thank you, Cooper, for having me on the podcast. If you guys have a chance to check out his podcast of me, that's super useful as well. It's just a function of, Kyle Wang, who I know is an influencer in Algorand, and Bahala is obviously very plugged into all the major projects taking off. He's a close friend of mine, and he's been telling me about it for a while. And so finally, when we had a breather between projects, we kind of had our devs take a look at the technology, and sure enough, it's really astounding. It's beautiful. There's never been a minute of downtime since its existence, which can't be said for many of the layer ones and layer twos. And I think if you want something to truly work, it has to have that capability, right? It has to be truly a solution to the trilemma. It's pure proof of stake. It has decentralization. It has TPS and time to finality that is comparable and ability to even do better than what it currently can do. But it's comparable to kind of the leading alternatives. It's just missing a lot of the key infrastructure pieces, right? Like how do we open up the ramps for USDC, USDT on ramps to allow more retail and non-crypto native people to play in the space? How do we get some of the big funds around the table and to be willing to kind of place their first bets in the Algorand ecosystem? So I'm going to be transparent. I've been on the phone with some of the biggest names, including A16Z, Coin Fund, some of the kind of old friends of mine from the EVM world, and they've always said, hey, Dean, we love you guys. We've done right with you and your past projects and things like that. But as a firm, we need to get comfortable with Algorand. And so I think Stacy's doing a tremendous job at the leadership of the ship and just continuing to explain to these big funds, these big institutions, et cetera, why Algorand makes sense, not only from a technology standpoint, but from an investment standpoint, right? And I think being where it is right now, the token price has been severely neglected and beat down. And as a contrarian investor, it's very, very attractive for me, right? Because you never want to be buying kind of top ticking the hottest thing. You want to find things that are severely undervalued, underpriced relative to its value. And I think that's what Algorand is, right? It's at a point where if we have continued, progress in terms of bringing developer teams like myself and my team into the space to build out kind of the key tooling components, there's no reason why we couldn't have an explosion like in the early days of Solana, right? Like having a one or two or even just a handful of big funds commit and say, hey, this is the one that we're going to light up, and we're going to commit money, time, resources to lighting it up. I don't see why this couldn't happen, right? But building in the bear is one of my favorite things in the world because it cuts out a lot of the shillers and the crazy people doing nonsense, and kind of allows you to kind of raise from the people who are still there and have capital to deploy. But also, once you've raised, you can kind of put your headphones in and just really crank and deliver the product that you've been talking about for a while to your communities. And so I think the community here is incredibly strong. We just need to kind of pull together and continue foray and a push in terms of evangelizing and just letting people know, like, why is Algorand so compelling? It's the reason that we just listed, right? But it's relatively undiscovered, I'd say. Even some of the big names, I just had lunch with Jack from Masari, and he was asking me, he's like, hey, why are you spending your time in Algorand? And just educating him that way, right? I think it's going to make a big difference because, once he hears it from me, he hears it from some other people. Next thing he knows, he might be, hey, how do we write a research report on it? And then once that gets pushed out, you don't know who might read it and who might look into it. And next thing you know, there might be several billion-dollar funds coming into the space. And so I've seen this happen, right? So when I joined Polygon, I think we had something like 20 dApps or something on the platform. Right now, I think the latest stat was over 7,000. And so I've seen it grow from 0 to 1. I've seen it grow from 1 to 10,000. And it's not something that happens necessarily overnight, but it's also not something that's impossible. And in a short period of time, when you have a lot of people passionate about doing good things and doing it as a community, you can light it up relatively quickly. And so once again, I got to hop because I have a person waiting on a call right now to discuss something about Vertex. But I'm always incredibly honored to be part of this community, incredibly blessed to have the love and support you guys have for me. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely a fallible human being, but you guys have my word. I'm going to try everything in my power to make Vertex as successful as it can be, that we can provide as useful a product as we can do it, that we can test it as much as we can and make sure there's minimized chances of any hacks or anything like that. And that I think that's all we can really hope for, right? Like, we're in a relatively new space and anything can happen, but I wake up early and I stay up late to try and deliver to this community that's shown me so much support and love, and for that I'm always grateful. And so I really appreciate you guys.
Glad you could stop by.
Yeah, glad you could stop by. I have a quick question for you before you go, if you can. Why do you FUD sleep?
I think a lot of people mistake the concept of sleep. I think people like sleep is a cost. Sleep is not like a benefit. I think sleep allows us to do a lot of things that we want to do, but
Did we lose Dean?
He might have got rogued.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna come
Sounds
back
like
now.
it.
He's coming back.
He had to leave anyways.
Yeah, you're good.
sometimes mistake inputs for outputs, right? Like when you go about your day, you don't say like, hey, I hope I can have to take, 5 naps or something like, or I have to, eat 30 cheeseburgers. It's like, at least the way I look at it is like, I do it because I have to for maintenance, right? When you have a car, you don't say like, I pray I can go keep it in the garage and then kind of maintain it and do 10 oil changes this week, right? You basically say, how many miles can I go with the least amount of oil changes required and least amount of, brakes repaired and all these things. And so I think if you run a pretty optimized machine in terms of your body, your mind, your spirit, ideally, if you're really healthy and you're eating well and you're not drinking alcohol, you're not doing anything to damage your body, your body requires less sleep. And it's not so much that I don't like sleep. I think sleep is very useful, very important, but it's something that is a cost. It's not something that should be done for its own sake. And I think most people are capable of so much more than they think they're capable of. And I just want to prove to myself, first and foremost, and other people, obviously, that it is possible. I don't know if any of you guys study yogic culture or anything like that, but Sadhguru, I've learned a lot of things from him, and actually spent time at his ashram in southern India. And he talks about it, right, where I think he spent many decades sleeping only 2 to 4 hours a night, and doing all the activities he's done, including building Isha Foundation and all these other charitable works that he's been involved in. And so for me, it's just how far can I push my body, my mind, my spirit to build things that I find meaningful, one of which right now currently includes Verdex. And for me, it's so much more than just like making money, right? I think making money is actually one of the last things on our minds. It's creating really, really useful things for people that we care about and the people that care about us, and helping push forward a decentralized world that if we were kind of randomly dropped into any position, would be happy to say like, hey, this is as fair a system as we can try and make it. It's very useful to think that way, right? Because obviously being a dictator or an authoritarian government is great when you are the dictator or the authoritarian figure. But if, the roles were reversed and you were dropped to be somebody that was being, ordered around and things like that, I think very quickly our perspectives would change. And so part of why Web3 and why the decentralization movement is so close and near and dear to our hearts, right? A lot of us are financially independent by many lifetimes fold, and we don't have to keep doing what we're doing, but we do it because we believe that what we're doing will help create a better version of the world, one that we are proud to leave for our children and grandchildren. And I think these things that we're building today are just baby steps, right? They'll one day be very quickly forgotten, right? Just layers in the sediment of technology. But the thing is, the baby steps that we take are going to compound into the future versions of the world that will greatly shape its direction. And it's one that I would love to pour my energy and my being into, directing towards one that I believe is more fair and more beautiful and more egalitarian for people that, were not necessarily controlling where they were born, into which society and what they look like, etc. And that's something that matters to me a lot more than anything, money can buy or give. So I do gotta jump.
Dean, whatever you're selling, I'm buying.
Nothing. I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling. It's just genuine thoughts that why I'm.
I know. I love it. I love it. This is very Web3, and I love the philosophy. So whatever you're selling, I'm buying.
Not selling. But genuinely, right? Like when my co-founder and
I know. Embrace it.
My co-founder and I are both kind of independently wealthy at this point, and we're not doing this for the money. We're doing this, like, I work ungodly hours, right? I'm sure you guys see, and I'm able to do that not because of some selfish motivation. It's purely because I believe in what we're doing. I believe that my life has purpose in creating and espousing the values that we hold close, and it's one of the antidotes for depression. Honestly, I wrote a little short blog post about it. But if all you care about is yourself, right, and all of us are doomed to be mortal and get sick and get ugly and old one day, and if that's all you've ever cared about, depression is the natural logical outcome, right? If that's all you care about is yourself, and you're going to get old and you're going to die one day anyways, as you get older and you get sick and whatever, you're naturally going to get depressed. And so the antidote for that is actually just finding things that are worth dying for, right? Because we're all going to die anyways. Finding things that are worth investing your life into. And it could be people, it could be systems, it could be technology, whatever you're passionate about, right? And that gives your life meaning. And for me right now, it's obviously building Verdex and a lot of things that we're involved in Web3. But I'm doing it for me, right? Like, first and foremost, like I don't want to be sad and just thinking about myself, because it's a very lonely and meaningless existence. Whereas if you're doing things for the larger communities that you care about and they care about you, it doesn't really matter if you die or you don't die, whatever, like, because in the time that you have, in the time that you're gifted, you're pouring everything you have into helping shape a better version for all the people that you care about. And so in that sense, you lose that fear of your own mortality and things like that. And so that's what gives my life purpose, and that's why we do what we do. And I think it's something that's not spoken about enough, right? All these tactics, business tactics, technology tactics, optimizations, etc. It's not something that's spoken.
Did he disconnect again?
He's dead.
Yeah. Look at you. Sorry, guys, for the interruption. Thank you, Ibu, for taking over with the space.
No
I was
problem.
disconnected here. I'm in Morocco. The connection is so bad in the hotel, so thanks.
Yeah, man, of course. Well, I still love that from Dean, and to hear about his mentality. I think it's very it's very cool. It's just the fact that not everyone in the world can do that, but if one is able to tap into that, it can be a really powerful starting position to move from. So I think from a motivational standpoint, it was a nice speech to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
What's up, blockchain?
Yeah.
Nigeria?
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing?
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
We can hear you.
All right. Yeah, this is Femi from Blockchain Nigeria University. Yeah, I'm very happy to be in this conversation right now. I must say I'm very glad to be in the midst of people who are driving innovation in the blockchain industry. Yeah, it's a nice one, and I appreciate everyone for their contribution so far. So, I'll just jump into what Nigerian blockchain Nigeria University is all about. We have a community of blockchain enthusiasts. We have blockchain guys in our midst. We have developers. We have traders and all of that. So, what we basically do in Nigeria is that we educate Nigerian university students on what blockchain is all about. We educate them, we enlighten them, and to make them become aware of the opportunities that are in blockchain. You understand? So, and we partner with guys building cool stuff in blockchain, using blockchain. Partner with guys building on Agora. Partner with guys building on other networks, also other blockchain network as well. So I would just like to let the beautiful people on this page to know that, okay, if they have a project that they want to introduce into the African space, we are here, we can help them to do that. So I hope everyone got me. Hello.
Yeah, man. Teaching.
Yeah.
Are you one of the professors or are you a student?
No, we are not professors. We are alumni. We graduated from some of these universities, So but actually we have guys who graduated from some of the best universities in Nigeria. So we have communities scattered across those universities. So it's quite easy for us to, if you want to partner with some of the universities, we can help you do that. And if it's just you're looking to organize events and hackathons for students in those universities, we're here as well to do that. Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
All right.
You live in Nigeria?
Yeah. I live in Nigeria.
So how popular is blockchain, crypto, DeFi, all the real Web3 stuff? And I'm talking beyond buying and holding. How popular is DeFi, crypto, and maybe just Algorand, specifically on the ground, boots on the ground in Nigeria?
Right now I won't really say Algorand or development DeFi is popular. But one thing that I can say for sure is that people in Nigeria, Nigerian youth, Nigerian students, they are aware of blockchain, but they are not really going into it fully. They don't know that beyond buying coins, that there are other benefits, there are other opportunities attached to blockchain. So, but to some extent, I would say blockchain has kind of gained the ground in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, in Africa, and that's why we are here. That's why we've set up this community to broaden the scope of people, to broaden their knowledge on what blockchain stands for, and to even encourage them to not just be about buying coins, but also building solutions that are going to contribute to humanity. I hope I answered your question. Hello.
Yes. Hi. So it's still being adopted. Algorand is still being adopted.
You
So
said what?
So blockchain technology is still being adopted, and even within
Yeah.
that, Algorand is a very small part of that so far.
No, Algorand just came into the scene. I think last year, Algorand just gained momentum. So I think it's still growing. Yeah. I would say it's still growing. Everybody's still learning about it. It's still growing. Yeah. So does anyone else have a question for me?
It's a wonderful initiative, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. So any project that wants to partner with us, that wants to gain recognition in Nigeria, with the
Yeah, hello guys.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I want to answer someone's question about the presence of DeFi and other crypto stuffs in Nigeria. Okay, I'm from Nigeria also. So, in Nigeria, we do much of trading. So, there are not much people going into development and all that stuff. They just focus themselves on trading. So we are few into this development stuff and other things. So we are looking forward to Algorand. So and there are few of us involved in Algorand project also. So we would like to also improve ourselves and our people would like to let them know about everything about Algorand as a whole. That's why we are coming into Algorand community and others to inform people also and to educate our and Nigeria as a whole.
Yes, exactly. To make the whole populace aware of blockchain.
Yeah, but I think you guys should have a chat with Bilal. He is a specialist in Nigeria, and he's heavily connected. So that would be your go-to guy.
Yeah, actually, we already have one of our AlgoFam guys as part of our team. AlgoFam minister as part of our team. The minister of AlgoFam is one of our team.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we had a chat last week actually.
Mm-hmm.
We have Wub wants to say something. Wub, please go ahead. Welcome.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Enjoying my Sunday, just taking in some lo-fi music and just vibing,
Lovely.
I was wondering if maybe you guys could possibly share some opinions on this. As far as when it pertains to Algo and the capabilities of possibly starting a project that is involving smart contracts comparatively to, of course, ones like Ethereum and some of the other big hitters. How do you guys kind of deal with possibly the limitations? Or do you know anyone that has, started one and dealing with possible limitations of what you can do with smart contracts on Algo comparatively to other chains, and essentially how they have the confidence in Algo that there will be developments, improvements going forward. I'm just kind of going back and forth on essentially being able to decide with possible other people on yes, like Algo is the right chain for us, for our business and for our product. Do you guys have any insight on that?
Yeah, I actually want to give this. If I would love if Wafer Labs answered this or Guard. I can definitely answer too, and Jeff can as well. There's a lot of angles to this because Jeff, market maker, can hit it from the DeFi or the NFT side. Guard can hit it from the product protocol side, and Wafer can hit it from the infrastructure side. So honestly, anyone is welcome to speak here.
Well, I'll take one shot at it real quick regarding the NFT side. I just got off with a NFL player about talking about NFT collection. It's like a 10K mint, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna mint that on Ethereum and all this." And I'm like, look, like it makes sense. Like there's too much opportunity cost not to mint it on Ethereum for you since you have the network and everything. But if you're a small time creator, like he has his own personal collection where he's like, yeah, I tried to do it on Ethereum, but I felt like it wasn't the right time and place. And I didn't know if it would like work X, Y, Z. I said, well, look, you could mint your personal collection on Algorand and introduce, your network to the community. And if you want to do the bigger mint on ETH and maybe do a cross chain mint eventually, it's like, we talked about this the other day, Ibu. It's like chicken and the egg. A lot of people are like nervous about minting on Algorand because they don't feel like there's enough traffic here, enough volume. So yeah, I mean, it all depends on what you're trying to do, how successful you've been other places, if you have entrenched interest. So yeah, it's all relative. There's no blueprint.
Right, because the more people who mint on Algorand series will therefore increase the volume, increase the audience base, increase the net capital flowing through the NFT system. So yes, it is chicken and the egg. Harsh, I want to hand this off to you. What do you think?
Well, I just wanted to ask a more clarifying question, like what specifically is he looking to target or build on Algorand? Like, or is it just more of a general, what is the space looking like right now?
So we initially, we were talking or in talks of what we wanted to do. So I'm by no means a cryptographer. I'm no means a smart contracts expert. They're themselves one of the members was has built on Algorand before, but it wasn't to the level of what we've been talking about, and we were expressing about creating a marketplace that essentially possibly can layer not only digital files or any kind of NFT artwork, but also NFT music as well. And he expressed that he doesn't think that it is possible to do that on Algorand. And
Okay, so you want to build like a digital, you want to build a marketplace for NFTs and other digital assets, right? Is that essentially it?
yeah, that, and then we were thinking of leveraging the B2B side, cross connectivity, and
Yeah.
fostering
Okay,
those
so
kinds
I
of
would say
units.
that there's like currently a lot of marketplaces on Algorand, but they all sort of have issues. I don't think I've really seen like many marketplaces currently in the ecosystem right now that sort of address some of the more glaring issues with NFT marketplaces and digital assets. So I think there's a lot of room for disruption. If you come in with some really solid coders and are able to execute pretty fast, there's definitely a lot of market share to be sort of stolen from these other places. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity in the space. Just because everyone's here so early and everyone is kind of just like figuring out how to start building. But if you're already familiar, like I think like yeah, there's definitely like a lot of opportunity for you to grow out your project and further develop. I mean, as someone commenting on the infrastructure side, I will say that like all the tools right now are in place for you to easily develop. There is an indexer that the Ink offers. I've never seen a cryptocurrency offer an indexer, but the Ink offers its own indexer. So yeah, super easy to get started, and it would definitely be a lot lower effort, honestly, than like building something on Ethereum or Solana, because in those marketplaces there is no indexer offered. So you just have to invest the engineering resources into building that out and then building out the rest of your infra. So yeah, I would say yeah, Algorand definitely offers like lower costs on the engineering side. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I think this is by no means me asking this question. I'm not really trying to be like, the fact that I don't think Algo is positioned not only as the chain itself, but also for people wanting to build on it in a great position. I think we've all seen in the past, more EV things more EV and protocols being built, allowing for bridging to Algorand. That's been a proven solution in the past for more adoption to come, whether it be AVAX, so things like that onto Ethereum. I mean, that is a huge key to getting that inflow onto another existing chain. And I don't see why that wouldn't happen with Algo itself too. So
I just want to add, are you familiar with Reach-Lang? Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Yeah, so Reach-Lang, it's a well, Reach is a smart contract programming language developed by the Reach-Lang or Reach company. Chris Swenner, you probably want to just on Twitter search for at Reach. But going to your original question, Reach in terms of can you build? Is there any limitations on Algorand versus other like if the other popular blockchains? Reach is actually proof that you can build an app in Reach and deploy it across multiple blockchains. Think of it the concept of I don't know if you've ever done like Java programming or where it compiles down like to a bytecode that can run any platform. Basically, you write once and you can deploy anywhere. So and probably Chris, he could probably direct you if you touch base with Chris, and if you have any specific questions, because this is basically what they do, right? I mean, they built the language, so they know all the if there's any like I'm sure it's not 100%, but he can tell you because they've dived deep into developing this language, so they know all the ins and outs of what is basically what doesn't their Reach language doesn't support, because otherwise if it doesn't support it, that means it's not available across all blockchains. So I would recommend just reaching out to the Reach team.
I appreciate it, and I'll check it out for sure. Thank you.
Guard, what do you guys think, to answer Wub's question? Being a company that's about to launch on Algorand, how do you feel about the chain?
Yeah, no, I have a lot to say about that, because I think a lot of the question is asking about the faith we have in Algorand moving forward, as well as the capabilities offered on Algorand now versus what will be offered. And we chose to build on Algorand because of the capabilities, right? So well, obviously you can't say everything is the same here and there, nor should you want to. I think something that is neglected here is that Algorand is one of the most developer-friendly blockchains to build on. It's one of the blockchains with the most functionality. It's one of the blockchains that's the safest. There's so many benefits to building on Algorand, from a security standpoint, from transaction speed and finality standpoint. And so Algorand was actually, from a tech perspective, both short term, mid term, long term, was the blockchain we wanted to build on for those reasons. And beyond what's available right now, I think if you just look at the track record of more and more things, different proofs being added, different smart contract functionality, more transaction speed, all of that being promised and executed upon, and money being put into research into bettering the blockchain. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to be building anywhere else. And if you do want to build somewhere else, I guess I would know, but I would imagine the majority of that reason is because there's a quicker opportunity to make a lot of money, right? I mean, I think Dean was doing a really great job of talking about how amazing the Algorand community is, how great the technology is, and obviously agree with all those things. We love Dean. We're working closely with Dean, but beyond all of that, it's the fact that people building here on Algorand right now have a much longer term view, I would argue, and they're people who want to create long term value at the expense of maybe just making a quick buck right now, and trying to feed off of hype that started years and years ago and capital that was generated years and years ago. I think that's the big difference here with building on Algorand, right? It's the actual results that have been delivered and superior technology versus past hype and attention and excitement that is still carrying over into the present.
Right. Great point. I want to bring Sponzi in, but I want to say something about that real quick, is that there's a fundamental difference between apps developing on Algorand right now and potential DApp development on something like Cardano, where you can, like, no disrespect, you can just tell that Cardano as a chain really doesn't work fundamentally, whereas Algorand does work fundamentally in a very robust way and almost never fails. I don't think it's no downtime, no like DDoS attacks, nothing that really has hindered other ecosystems. So I think, like, from that perspective, it's very different than building on a chain that you're like, well, I don't know if this even fundamental layer 1 technology is going to work out. In this case, like, it is the Algorand blockchain is strong enough to work, and it's not even being pushed close to what it could do, even at these levels. And they're talking about upgrading it, 10x with 10x throughput in the next few months. So for that reason, I think it's very compelling to want to establish yourself as a project here before those upgrades come along, and before, honestly, before the token price starts to attract retail investors again. So yeah, what about you, Sponzi? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, if I could just clarify, I didn't mean by any means, bringing that up in the terms of, like, we're looking to capture, we're facing towards capturing existing market share, and, like, that's why I'm asking about, why Algo compared to another chain. I do, like I said before, the fact that they're having a focus on creating, more avenues for capital to flow into Algo. I think that's an amazing thing. I think that obviously, that will attract a lot of people to obviously want to build onto Algo, as well as the developers willing to work on Algo that aren't already on there. My question was just about, like, are there any limitations of what you can do on Algo as far as a smart contract that you can do on another network possibly? And if I'm missing something, what am I missing if that is not the case? So I just want to clarify. I didn't mean any disrespect by any means.
No one thought you did, man. It's a great question. I want to hand it to Sponzi because he's had his hand up for a while, and I hope if there's a smart contract dev in this audience that can really give some details to WubWub, please request, and I will totally bring you up here. So Sponzi, go ahead. Thanks.
Hey guys. Back to I don't know if it was Jeff or if it was WubWub who asked about musicians and artists. Well, me personally, I'm a musician and an artist, and I was actually starting out on Matic. I was minting basically my music on Matic, and there are some aspects which basically attracted me to Algorand, which made me realize that on Algorand you have really number one, the blockchain is really much newer, so you really don't have all of the built up spaces, so to say. Everything isn't built yet, but the blockchain is built. So this is the important thing. But all of the dApps and so on, they don't exist yet. Which gives the artists as well basically a kind of a first mover advantage, which doesn't really exist on Ethereum, for example, where you constantly have to compete. And this is also something that's very important to note about the Algorand in general. When I came to Algorand, it was like 5 months ago to start building. It was really barren, and there were maybe 10 or 15 verified ASAs in total, and now we're starting to get there, and it's going really fast, and you can see really that the development is going in the direction that you can see that all of that development which Ethereum etc has had before, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, that is all Algorand is catching up on those points, and at the same time is improving because of the fundamentals which are basically which also attracted me, looking at a blockchain for a long-term prospects, because I want a blockchain to build on for not just a couple of years, hopefully for the entire career. So this is kind of also a point where Algorand has this really covered out, where the future is really also accounted for. For example, also with the scaling, etc.
Yeah, can I just touch on that? I think I shared this the other day, but there was a developer for Ethereum who basically went into this whole entire diatribe on the capacity of the network and the scalability and the complexity of Ethereum, how they keep adding features and it keeps making it more complex and it'll be harder for it to get to the next level of adoption. And yeah, he's one of the actual developers from Ethereum. So it's like, yeah, I think that in reality, there's an opportunity cost in some regards for right here and now versus with the future of Algorand, where at some point it's going to break out. Bridges, DVL, institutional money, whatever. And it's like, are you willing to be 2 steps ahead of people and, build here, or 2 steps behind once it actually, gets mass adoption? So that's kind of my thesis.
Definitely, I agree with that. Absolutely.
Hey guys, sorry, I just want to jump in really quickly just to directly answer the question. And we've been developing on Algorand probably as the first app actually since before they even had the ASAs. So I wish my CTO would join me, but he's in Singapore, so we'll be in Miami this April for the Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin whatever Miami. But to answer your question, pretty much everything you can do on the other chains, it's reproducible via Algorand, but has it been actually reproduced via the smart contracts? And that's no. And because it hasn't been reproduced, even though theoretically it could be reproduced, sometimes the workarounds are very painful, and you have to wait for the core developers to, you got to report that to the core developers, and then you got to let them develop it, and then you got to wait for that. So like contract to contract calls and stuff like that. So sometimes some development that happens on Algorand, you're going to have centralized workarounds because a lot of the staking, contracts that we do have, there's a real centralized aspect for a majority of them, right? Because it just wasn't possible, whether it's how Algorand, when it actually grabs the prices, or the on-chain storage, and so on and so forth. And so one thing that's going to happen in Algorand eventually, and I'm hoping for this, is a lot more open source contracts where we have open source libraries where if you're an Ethereum developer, you can just come over to Algorand and then you can see the teal contracts that are kind of open source and kind of see what you can do with that and then see the possibilities. But I'll be very frank, having developed on Algorand literally since day one for our projects, a lot of times we don't launch our projects earlier because we're trying to use and be as decentralized as possible in our approach, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to train your guys up. You can't just take an Ethereum developer and say, "Hey, jump into it." They're gonna need like a month to 6 weeks to really catch up with it, and get into it. And so if you are like looking to, how do I say, leverage off the Algorand community, it's early, right? So you can get in there and so on and so forth. But commercially, a lot of these other platforms, like L1s, are going to be much better commercially for you to attract. And I know there was the Vex Finance. What was it? The guy who was just on here before. Verdex, yes. And people are asking him, and he's talking to Andreessen and all this. Why are you guys on Algorand? I've had that same conversation too with VCs as well. It's not on their radar because everyone's kind of gone EVM happy, and they have all these libraries and so on and so forth. But it can be done. You just need to be very patient, and I'd say you have to have kind of two approaches to it. One is, you're early to the ecosystem, and so we have a very welcoming ecosystem. We really are more of a family, less culty, psychotic, community. The other side of it is when these things do get up to the ability to develop and have the functionality, like Ethereum has, where it seems that it has, right, or Polygon or so on and so forth. We have that scalability, we have that security, we have that security. already in place. So, no one really knows the future, but it's definitely gonna be an investment. I have to say that, like straight up, you know. But if you're in early and you can take a long-term view of things, I think Algorand is a fantastic place to be.
Yeah, so that's, sorry if I may kind of respond to that. That's kind of like what I'm trying to gauge. Someone that is obviously not in the deep technical background existing. Trying to piece together a possible team, right? And knowing limitations of the ecosystem so far, or even just the information that's out there so far, right? And finding someone that is, capable enough to essentially, bring up this product that you possibly are envisioning, and knowing like, am I going to have to, you know, really find someone that is obviously on that level that's able to push the limits and familiar enough with Algorand itself? Or am I going to be able to kind of piece together a team that's familiar with it, but can really, use what's existing out there to build this out, and balancing that and knowing what limitations there are on what you're going to be building, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just that last one. I know that Riley has her hand up, but there's no easy path to getting into Algorand at the moment because we don't have this massive library of existing smart contracts. Because the way that Teal has developed um, was more focused on, how do I say, not retail apps or NFT marketplaces or DeFi. Was really focused on this really robust, super robust infrastructure, right? And that entire trilemma and solving that and the security of that. And so either way, if you have existing developers, they will have to deep dive in. If you want to get consulting from certain people, I'm sure that there are people out there, but they're very much committed to a lot of other projects just because there are not enough developers in the space. And I guess the last thing is you can always talk to Chris from Reach and approach it from that direction. And they have like something like 5,000 developers that they have. I can't vouch for the end product when it comes to Reach, but I'll say that a lot of people in the community do use Reach, and Reach is building out a full DeFi suite. So if that it's called Humble Swap and Humble DeFi, if that comes out, then I think that'll be a good proof of work showing of that they were able to do this on Algorand as well. So you should reach out there, but there's no easy onboarding here at this time for Algorand. That's my opinion. People may disagree, but you know, I mean, we've trained every single one of our devs. We have not hired someone who was an existing Teal developer to come on with us. So, but it's possible. I mean, we're still here. We're hanging on, and the chain's never gone down. And every time there's an upgrade, it moves forward.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add on. First of all, Sinjin is one of the first builders on Algorand, so I think everybody, should be thankful that he's still here building and, supporting the community so strongly, because it's really important. But trying to move the conversation forward beyond just the technology and the, where the future of Algorand is, right? I think something that's also really important to talk about is how current DeFi projects that are, either existing or about to launch are going to hopefully make a big splash in one of the biggest metrics that people look at, which is TVL, right? Algorand has been lacking in TVL for a long time, and that's for different reasons, right? Some of it's the DApp capability, some of it is the fact that even though we've launched this amazing governance program, that it's still not technically a metric we can include in TVL, right? But very soon, that's all going to change, right? And it's kind of one of those things where a small first step can really have just this massive ripple effect, right? And so with projects like Guard, where we're going to allow people to still participate in governance, get their rewards, but also get a stable line of credit out of it that they can then go deploy into DeFi, it can really create a really impressive, massive chain reaction to the ecosystem because once people take their guard and they take it out into other other partners and just dexes, etc., in the Algorand ecosystem, and go out and use that liquidity they've gotten, it's going to be massive, right? And again, we're not the only ones doing this, but as people have talked about from in an innovation standpoint, when we first came into the market months and months ago, we were the first ones talking about building an algorithmic stablecoin, right? Now people say, well, you're not the first, you weren't the first to launch, right? And so we're definitely working on rebranding, right? Because we weren't the first to launch, but we were the first ones trying to do that, right? We were also the first ones trying to free up governance liquidity publicly and taking that initiative. So going back to what Dean was talking about and how, people need to take these steps, and even if you're not the one that ends up getting remembered for 20 years or 50 years or in perpetuity, how everyone going forward in these spaces needs to put that effort in, so that whether it's making libraries that other people can use and build and improve upon, making new ideas that people can use and improve upon, right? It's really important that we put the community first and conceptualize projects and products that are going to help the community, because if the community does better, then Algorand will do better, more people will join the community, and it's going to have a really great network effect, positive feedback loop, whatever you want to call it, in the space, right? And so, I just wanted to say how appreciative I am of everybody who's come before. There are really so many people who've come before, and it's easy to be like, wow, there's nothing going on Algorand, but that's not true, right? I mean, we don't have thousands of dApps yet, right? But we do have lots of really great teams, and while there is a lack of not lack, but there is not a wealth of talent yet, and as you have to bring people in and train them, it's just a worthwhile thing to do, right? We've trained developers, we've gotten them into the Algorand space, we've brought people who are not crypto native, made them some of the best people in crypto, at least in the Algorand space. And I think it's all about fighting the good fight, right? Going back to Reach, lots of people are building in Reach. It's a lot more, the startup cost is a lot lower, and so Reach is a really important piece of innovation and accessibility in Algorand, right? We liked Algorand because lots of developers that are really strong learn Python, right? And so that teal jump actually isn't as big of a jump as some people make it out to be, right? Maybe you're already crypto native and you're like, why am I coding in Python or PyTeal, right? The leap isn't that big. But for people who aren't necessarily crypto native, they love these libraries actually, and the SDK is not that hard to learn. And so anyway, I'm not rambling, but I just wanted to get that in, that we're launching soon. Hopefully we're another step in the right direction for Algorand, and that there is a lot of really positive stuff happening that people may or may not be aware of. And even if it seems like the community isn't there yet, or other aspects aren't true, I think it's going to happen a lot quicker than people realize, because the community is a lot stronger than some people may give them credit for.
And if I could just add something real fast, especially since you're really interested in the NFT side of things. One very compelling thing about Algorand is that it can't hard fork, which is, for NFTs, I feel like is something that goes unmentioned a lot of the times, man. Because imagine if like the Bored Apes and all the other popular ones, like pixelated ones, like imagine if that happened before the ETH hard fork, or the ETC hard fork. Like there'd be like two Bored Apes, and how would you really differentiate which one is the more genuine of the two? So for like NFTs, like I'm very bullish on Algorand just for that aspect alone. And when the time comes and the development comes, and like when we get these proper bridges and incentivize devs to come in here and build more, I believe the innovation will be there.
No, for sure. That was a huge thing that we have been going back and forth about. Obviously, if you are trying to approach businesses looking to obviously focus on IP protection into the NFT space, that is obviously one of the main, draws to Algorand. So no, I completely agree with that.
Swansea, you've had your hand up for a while. You want to talk? Or altcoin,
Sure.
altcoin daddy?
Well, there were quite a lot of points that were brought up are quite important. Coming in to the blockchain space with as a sound engineer and with a business background, became quite apparent to me early on, creating a crypto token of my own as a payment token for my label. That it would need quite a bit of cooperation, and this is also another reason why I chose Algorand as well, because this cooperative phase actually is quite developed on Algorand. For example, the fact that without any development skills, I was able to create the first ASA to have processed the purchase of music, and this came through cooperation. This came through open source code, which was readily available from HDL, from Headline. So this is something that's also very important to note, that the cooperative space between developers, between the various talents that exist on Algorand, that we are cooperating with each other to give each other's projects the talent that it needs, the effort that it needs. And this is something that's while looking for among the various blockchains, this was also something that really attracted me to Algorand. And as I don't know who was the person to say it before, but the hard fork. This was also one of the things that was very important for me in regards to the NFTs, because of the longevity, basically making sure that the NFTs that you mint, that they will last forever, basically, that they are basically the only copies, and they are the fully that the creation is under your control, so to say.
You know what, Bob, you should also join the Algorand Discord. There's a developer Discord or a developer channel in that Discord, and you'll get really good answers to these questions. So check that out too.
Yeah, I'm in it.
Yeah. Altcoin Daddy. Got something to say?
Yeah, sure. Good evening over here. I believe you can hear me, right? Algo HQ, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can hear you, but it's a bit soft. Can you go a bit closer to the mic?
All right, how about now? Is it better?
Way better.
Okay, how is everyone doing on the space? Before I start saying something, I just want to thank you for organizing this space, you understand? Because if you actually look for quite a number of time now, you see Algorand is being neglected. You get it? Algorand is being neglected. Reason being that I don't really know why people don't really talk about Algorand. Get it? I don't really know why people don't really talk about it. But that is just one blockchain that will do massively well in future. So even when you try to check out stuff like that, you just have limited articles about Algorand and some tutorial videos about Algorand. So when I saw this piece, I was really happy, and I decided to tune in. Ever since last year, I've been using Algorand for all my project, like my NFTs and the rest of it, because I do 3D design. So I really love the blockchain. So I just want to say, if the community can actually come together the more to put in resources together for people to actually use, maybe comprehensive tutorial on YouTube or maybe any other place, to really drive max adoption, because there are still people out there who really want to use Algorand, one for the security, two for the scalability, three for the low gas fee. Like they really want to utilize Algorand for this purpose, but they don't really know how to go about it. So HQ, appealing to you, if you can make that possible, maybe with your team, try to get resources for people to follow it to really go a long way. Because to only take a very hardcore developer to actually do some certain stuff on Algorand, maybe using Golang, Rich, Python, or JavaScript. And a whole lot of people don't even know how to do that. It's just like myself. Before now, I only know how to deploy smart contracts on Ethereum and BNB chain and using CLI for Solana. But when I found Algorand, it took me a little period of time to actually know how to work my way around it. So I believe if we can have a whole lot of resources for people, it's not all about reading. Because sometimes you go to the Algorand website to actually read about some stuff and it's always complicated. Sometimes you don't get videos to watch, comprehensive videos on YouTube. So I believe if we can continue this way, a whole lot will happen. And if you actually see, I think this is the first Twitter space I've seen that people mention about Algorand. So for now, Algorand is underrated. So I think if we continue this space like this, it will really go a long way to help persons to actually express their idea, their opinion, and also to build what they want to build because Algorand is there for them to like utilize it very well. So that is just what I want to say. So I really love Algorand for its scalability and the rest of because it only takes like 5 seconds to actually deploy anything onto the floor. So it's a very cool blockchain. But just need more awareness and people to know about it,
Thanks.
especially people.
We can't really hear you anymore, but thanks for those words. I'm
Okay.
kind of wanting to wrap it up. It's been going on for about 2 hours, but if anyone has some last questions or comments, please do not hesitate. Sinjin, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say, I wrote that long Reddit post like a couple weeks back, and obviously everything's been on my mind, with the entire DeFi crypto space and the products that we have and our pivot and something like that. I just want to make a distinction here in terms of, or some kind of context in terms of where Algorand is and with the other L1s, because it's always very simple to say, hey, why isn't Algorand better? I mean, like, why is it? Is it because marketing? And everyone always craps on the marketing all the time, nonstop, and everyone has a comment how it could be better and stuff like that. And I want to say that Algorand has tons and tons and tons of partners. The problem is that it's not a problem, but I want to just say very clearly is that had we had like a use with the Algorand chain where we had hit the retail really hard, like in GameFi, where you have Axie Infinity, which was on like an Ethereum sidechain, and they just smash it out of the park. Then great, Algorand would be kind of up there. But in terms of leading what is in Web3 and the innovations there, or in DeFi, Algorand wasn't designed originally for all that because at the time that Algorand came into it, the entire issue really was the trilemma. And then even though we had solved that, what are we solving with the trilemma? Because even if that's the case, what is, like the kind of compelling killer apps and stuff like that. And I think at this point, we are getting to that point in Algorand where we are, asking these harder questions. We have things like Guard, and we have, other, stable coins and collateralized loans now. And now we have a ton of DeFi, products that are coming out and DEXs. And so we're getting to that point now. I think, there's no kind of easy fix of kind of saying, hey, like it's just a marketing issue, whatever. I don't think it is. I think it's an innovation issue. I think once we get and we own our own kind of innovation, that is either retail oriented or, Algorand just simply because becomes the infrastructure for all the central bank digital currencies, it's going to hit one way or the other. But, it's a highly competitive, you know, it's a highly competitive space. And I think we haven't figured it out yet for Algorand yet, because in figuring it out, I mean, we have to kind of be leaders in that space as well. So I just want to kind of leave it at that.
Great point. We have to blaze the trail while also thinking of where the next destination will be. So we're paving the road while just talking to each other like, hey, where are we paving this road to? And we at any point, things change and we have to change the direction of that.
I mean, there's a few people with their hands up. Oyster, Alexander, Market Maker. Alexander just joined in, so let's go to him first.
Hi everybody.
How
I'm
you
Alex.
doing?
I'm Alexandre, Algorand champion in Paris. So
Welcome.
thank you. I just want to let a message to the AlgoFam chat because tomorrow we have our second AlgoFam chat in French. So if some people prefer to speak about Algo in French, we try to do like the AlgoFam do the same, but in French on the Monday at 8:30 p.m. So I'm not used to speak in English. I expect you understood me. So everybody is welcome if you speak French. If you're not, you can come. Maybe sometime we can share things in English, but the main object is to speak in French. So that's why my message for the end of the AlgoFam today.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous de m'avoir écouté.
Thanks for popping in, man. Yeah, any French speakers, please check that out tomorrow evening Eastern time. Oyster, got something to say?
Well, I actually had a question for AlgoGuard, but it looks like he left. Well, my question, well, let's just ask here so people can think about it. I've posted this. I would like to know, and I'll ping AlgoGuard again. If there's any plans, or does anyone know this? If there's any plans to have AlgoGuard guard integrations into lending protocols, because it'd be nice. It would provide much more value if we can actually use it as collateral to borrow other assets. But I noticed that AlgoGuard left, so.
Right. I can answer this because I've tested their testnet. So when you mint the guard as collateral, you mint the guard, you use your Algorand governance bag as collateral, you won't be able to immediately take a loan against the guard. The guard is a loan itself, but what you could do is probably swap it back into Algo or into Stable or USDC, and then take a loan on a different platform.
Like my question really is like, well, if she's talked to, sorry, I keep saying, I'm sorry, but if AlgoGuard has talked with, for example, AlgoFi or Folks Finance, so they can support it natively as collateral. So like for example, I can deposit into AlgoFi, right? I can deposit my Algo or Go BTC or Go ETH, then I can borrow against it. That'd be cool, right? And that'd be cool if we could do that. I mean, that's yeah.
It would be cool. I don't think they're going to have that when they launch this week.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just wondering if she's approached other teams, but yep. All right, that's it. That was my question. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've approached other teams or if they have partnerships in the works, but the interesting thing is that governance, the period ends in a few days, then the new sign up period starts. It's going to run for like a week or two. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff happening in that week or two, I think, because you got AlgoFi attacking the problem now. Guard's going to come out. And so there's going to be a lot of probably a big spike in TVL, but also, a shakeup for who can get those governance bags to take loans, Guard or AlgoFi. So I think that's going to be an interesting, little meta game battle that happens over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, pretty excited about that.
It's definitely going to be bullish. What's going on, Cody?
I was just going to say Tuesday I'm going to be with one of the community leaders of Pact and possibly one of the founders, Dojo. They are building some really cool stuff. They're going to take the Uniswap approach and just focus on AMM tools and stuff like that. Really bullish, and they give you the full taker fee, which is something that no AMM on Algo does right now. So highly recommend you guys come check it out. Come talk to us.
For sure.
Solid.
Yeah, PactFi, cool decks. Oh, Monty, go ahead.
I was going to say solid. I'm glad like so many of us kind of get to cover like so many different aspects of the community. It's good that there's, we're growing. It's hard for everybody to talk to everybody. So I appreciate that I can talk to somebody or watch somebody else talk to, kind of get the word out.
Monty, Cody, when are we starting the Algo Content Creator DAO?
I think we just did, just now.
Okay, we just did. We signed it. That's the friend DA. And
Yep.
over this next week, we'll draft the white paper. Jeff, you're in it too.
Alexander, I might go to Paris Blockchain Week, so hopefully we can meet up there. And if
Yeah, of course, I will be on Paris Blockchain Week Summit, so everybody is welcome. And we plan to have some events for the community. So I'm in touch with Bilal, who we will be there too. So we will share on the Twitter if something.
Yeah,
is.
please share that. And also, I'll be at NFTLA next week if anybody's going to be there, and then probably Miami Bitcoin. So if anybody's around Miami or LA the next couple of weeks, hit me up.
Sheesh, man's on the world tour. Anyway, y'all. Oh yeah, go. You were gonna say something, Jeff?
No, still tired from Austin, but I'm gonna make it.
We're all gonna make it. Okay, so it's been an amazing call, 2 hours plus. Really amazing conversation today. Thank you all for popping in. We're going to do the same thing next week, same time. If you're a French speaker, check out the space tomorrow. If you are interested in PactFi, check out Cody's space on Tuesday. There's a bunch of space throughout the week talking about very specific topics with founders, NFT artists, or community members. So just keep your eyes out. If you're new, follow everyone who's a speaker. They'll have interesting stuff to say. And I will leave it at that. Thank you all for pulling up. And, check out Monty's channel. He's got great interviews. Check out my channel. I got informational videos. Cody's channel. He's talking about degen activities, NFTs, and interviewing artists and creators. So, yeah.
Behind the JPEG?
Behind the JPEG, for sure.
Yeah, we're dropping the last behind the JPEG pretty soon and taking a break, and then it's going to be behind the DeFi for a little while.
Nice. And I have an interview with Austin Wilshire from XBacked, I think, coming out tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in XBacked, another stable coin coming to Algorand, definitely give that a watch. Really good convo there. He's a very interesting person to talk to. Has some cool answers. So check that out as well.
Yeah, I love Austin. Got an interview with Natalie from Prismatic as well pretty soon. And I'll be dropping.
Oh, hell yeah. So with that being said, thank you all for pulling up. Sadly, because the first space got canceled and I had to whip this one up quick, I didn't record it. But there will be a recording of the first space on Bilal's page. And see you all next week.